Hello everyone and welcome back to Nate the Hoof Guy. Today's video, we are on a small organic dairy in western Wisconsin and we are treating a cow that's got ulcers on both front feet. So when we envision organic dairying, we picture cows on pasture. But because we live in Wisconsin and because we have a cold climate here much of the year, organic cows are housed much the same way as conventional cows are. So you're going to have the same types of foot ailments from an organic cow versus a conventional cow. In this case, we've got a cow with ulcers on both front feet. Now, what causes an ulcer? Ultimately, what causes an ulcer is downward movement of the pedal bone inside the foot. Now, typically, there's got to be a trigger to cause that to happen, whether it be physiologically due to calving allows that pedal bone to have more movement inside the foot, or it be some type of metabolic condition that allows that pedal bone to move down on the foot. Either way, it's downward pressure from the pedal bone, and that compresses that corium in between the pedal bone itself and that inside layer of hoof horn, and that causes some bruising and some bleeding over time, some hemorrhaging, ultimately causing an ulcer. The key takeaway there is that it's downward movement from the pedal bone causing this trauma. Years ago, it was theorized that, and often ulcers were referred to as stone bruises by farmers and by vets and things like that, in that they thought maybe cows would step on rocks and that pressure upward would bruise the corium and ultimately cause an ulcer. We know now that that's not the case. It's actually the downward motion of that pedal bone that causes that, and that's important as far as how we protect these feet and keep them in the right positions to prevent these things from happening. So because we've had this condition where this pedal bone is moving down and causing repeated trauma to that corium, we now have an area of poor horn formation in that area due to that corium being damaged in that particular spot. It creates a hemorrhage location, or hemorrhaging in that location, and that, because of the poor horn formation, ultimately we end up getting a hole over time, and that flesh will actually protrude through that. So what we have to do now is clean away all this loose stuff around there to get that lesion itself to heal and begin producing new horn again. When it comes to locations of sole ulcers, typically you're going to find them on the front feet, will be on the medial claws, that inside claw. On the back feet will be on the lateral claw. The reason for that, these are the primary weight-bearing claws on a cow. Throughout the process of locomotion, the medial claw on the front and the lateral claw on the back have the highest amount of maximum pressures that a foot's going to receive, and that's why you end up with more movement in the pedal bone on those claws. So ultimately, those are the ones that are going to be the most likely to have these ulcers show themselves. Now, that's not always the case. There are instances where you'll see ulcers show up on medial claws on back feet, but rarely will you see an ulcer on a lateral claw on a front foot. Here you get a close-up of that ulceration itself and how I removed that horn from all the way around that. That's going to allow that ulcer itself to heal over and to begin producing